here too. So, technically speaking, right now I'm broadcasting live on YouTube and my Facebook, usual stuff from before. Still had some setup stuff. Now on Telegram as well. So, I'm actually capturing the Telegram stuff. Trying to test this out, see how the video looks. So, I'll have to wait until people come on Facebook and YouTube to give me some comments to hear what the video looks like. Video quality, because when I go to share, I want people to be able to see the screen, and looks pretty clear here on this end. Hello out there on YouTube and Facebook. Surprised to see so many people jumping on so quick. Must be getting notifications, huh? So Monday Night Law. I've been feeling compelled to come back and feeling the tug. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I kind of want to make it clear that the reason why I quit doing them, one, was because too much going on for me. Got several cases going on. Got 2 of them dismissed, so I don't really want to discuss that right now. Still have 1 pending. Technically speaking, I have another one now, but it's a traffic case. But they didn't seem to file any of the traffic charges, just the resisting and obstructing. So it's going to be quite interesting. But the one that I'm really working on is the one that's, continuing what Chris and I were working on. And I want people to remember that I was going after the bar before I met Chris. I have a lot of knowledge on my own, and I've gained so much knowledge even since we started working together. Some I learned from Chris, some I learned from reading books, reading the law itself. That's just how that works. Knowledge is power, folks. If you don't sit here and read, and you don't study, and you don't learn, you're not going to gain any knowledge, and you're not going to have any power. And once you have the power, you have to learn how to wield that power following due process of law. And just like Trump talked about at the inauguration, what did he say? He was putting the power back into the people's hands. What power is that? And I've reiterated this over the years many times. All political power, all of it, not some of it, not most of it, but all of it is inherent in the people. We have the right to alter, reform, or abolish any capital T thing at any time we deem it necessary. Now, how do we do that? Well, that's that knowledge, the power, and learn how to wield that power. We, the people, mankind, have been derelict in their duties, right? We cannot blame anyone else for our lack of education. We are ultimately responsible for our own knowledge, for our own education. It's up to us. They're not responsible for teaching us. We are. Doesn't matter what it is. And you don't need to go to law school to learn anything about the law, because you got 2 basic fundamental principles, maxims of law, the rule of law, principles of law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Try going into court or anywhere and claim that, well, I just didn't know. It's not going to go over very well because it's a maxim of law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The second maxim, fundamental principle of law, rule of law, is to know a thing and to be bound to know it are regarded in law as equivalent. So if you're a public servant, you're bound to know the law. You're already deemed to know the law because you're supposed to be bound by the Constitution itself. That's Article 6, Clause 3. All them members aforementioned, right, shall be bound, both state and federal, to support this Constitution. So that's how you apply maxims of law here. Plain and simple. You cannot claim that you don't know, or I was just following orders. It doesn't work. Never. Never has and never will. We are responsible for our own education, which is part of the reason why I started doing Kirk's Law Corner stuff. You know, for those of you that followed me even before I started on Facebook and YouTube, where was I at? Blog Talk Radio for a year and a half. I'm trying to look over here to see where. Let's just see what happens here. Oh, there they are. I'm trying to look at the comments here on Facebook and everything. I got a whole bunch of stuff open trying to make this all work so I can see everything at once, which, as you well know, a one-man show here. It's going to be hard to keep up with all the comments, especially I don't know, adding Telegram and then Rumble. Once I get up to 100 subscribers on Rumble, which I've put those out, please share, because we all know Facebook and YouTube, they can't handle the truth. They can't handle me telling you folks what's really going on out there, the truth. That's the other part of the reason why I took, well, that is the main reason why I took all of the videos down off of YouTube except for the educational videos series, is because they were giving me strikes. They were going back through the videos. They went clear back to almost 2 years to give me a strike, and I seen the pattern of behavior, what they were doing, so I just took them down. They can't give me a strike on something that doesn't exist. They can't watch it to go, oh, well, he said one little thing there. We can't have that. Can't have the truth being out there. And I do want to, put it out there. I miss everybody. I miss a lot of the people that were regular people that have followed me for years. Okay, don't think that I don't miss you and don't think about some of you. I've just been really, really busy over this last year. And it's gotten extremely busy in my personal life, private life, with starting basically June 2nd, doing a major family house swap due to grandparents being, put my grandfather up into a higher level of support and care. And then here just not too long ago, he actually fell down, lacerated his head, and fractured his neck and 2 fractures in his hip, and then passed away about a week later. Which we just had the funeral and buried him on Tuesday. So there's that going on. Plus, with all this going on, moving grandma, because when we did all the change there, they wanted to charge my grandmother $4,000 a month to stay out there in the retirement center. And no, she's got a house over here, so she wanted her house back. And my cousin who was renting there, I decided to move from the 2-bedroom to the 1-bedroom so he could have the 2-bedroom, because he couldn't find a place. Rent's just outrageous right now. Those of you who are experiencing that, you know firsthand, you know very well what's going on out there. So, yeah, right after getting moved in over here, in the middle of almost being done remodeling over there, my ceiling in the bedroom decided to fall in. So on top of everything else we're trying to do, and I still got boxes of stuff sitting here that I haven't even unpacked yet. Was basically get my stuff out of there so we can remodel that so my cousin can move in, and his son. So they just actually literally here Wednesday was a week that they got the final touches done. The carpet was laid new carpet was put in. So Wednesday night last week, I got to set up my bed and dresser and that couple of things in there, and so that's kind of a little bit about personal life and what's going on personally with me. Um, So yeah, just so people are aware. Again, this was just a real quick test, but yes, I posted on my Facebook page um, and the Telegram channel there. I've even put it on my Twitter and my Getter. Um, the new Rumble channel. I have a Rumble channel now, but in order to do live from Rumble, I have to have 100 subscribers. So. Let me see. And since I put it out, I'm up to 22 subscribers. So that's kind of cool. That oh no, now it's 39. It was 22 when I looked at it earlier. I don't know if I can subscribe. I guess I can subscribe to my own channel. I'll go ahead and dump that in the chat here on YouTube. Now, I've already put it on my Telegram channel, which is KLC Media Group News. That's part of Kirk's Law Corner LLC, is a DBA, is KLC Media Group. So that's under my license to do the news stuff. So Kirk's Law Corner is the education, and KLC Media is the news. Now, some people have said over a while here on the Telegram channel whether or not they thought it was me for real. So here I am live on my KLC Media Group News channel. It's me. It's been me the whole time. Nobody else. Just because I share stuff makes you think that it's not me. No. Look, there's a lot of stuff going on worldwide. And for those of you who have followed me, and I want to kind of I'll get into this stuff quite a bit more tomorrow night. Those of you who followed me know that I put out the executive orders as they were coming out, starting clear back with Jeff Sessions and back in November there when he did the prohibition on the use of guidance documents, and then Trump's proclamation from December 10th, 2017. Declaring the law. Okay, that's what that proclamation does. It proclaims. And it's back to real law. But things have changed even since then. Okay? So, the executive order from December 20th, which has been extended twice, and supposedly by Mr. Biden here. And again, I got to watch what I say because, I don't want to jinx things before we really put out some truth. Thanks for the subscriptions over there on Kirk's Law Corner Rumble. I appreciate that because that's where I'm going to be going, right? Is Rumble and Telegram. Facebook and YouTube, we can't do this on here. It's Kirk's Law Corner on, I'll put it again in the chat for those that may have just joined. Direct link to the Rumble channel there. And here, I'll put it on the Facebook chat too. Whoop, is it going to let me? Okay. So that's where we'll be moving to. But remember the executive order from December 20th, 2017. It was a worldwide executive order. Those involved in serious human rights abuse and corruption. This is what's been going on since then. And this is a worldwide, like I explained back then in 2017. Okay? Flat out. This is a military operation And for those of you who have read the Constitution, you also might have read the part in there where it says the military is subordinate to the civil power. Now, there's a man out there named Derek Johnson who's recently come out, and it's just blowing up, which blows my mind that a lot of the stuff he's talking about is stuff that I already covered years ago. The only thing I didn't really say anything about was the maritime, which is what I learned from him. Maritime, you're right. It is maritime jurisdiction, and he's specifically talking about Executive Order 1384, is it 48? That's the one, I showed you that clear back in September of 2018. Interference, foreign interference with a federal election. Okay, they have it all. Did we all forget about the NSA? NSA has everything, all the time, real time. And, you know, Mike Lindell in the symposium, they showed they had those packets and all that. You know, they had it all. Don't think that they don't. And so what I want people to comprehend here is that don't worry about the big stuff. Worry about you. Worry about your family, your neighborhood, your friends and family, your close relatives. Worry about that locally and start focusing on what you can do locally. Okay, don't get sucked into thinking you can do something about what's going on in Ukraine or something about the election interference, election fraud, or alleged. I'm gonna say it that. But we know, those of us that are paying attention, we already know. Now here's the big pill for a lot of people to swallow, and it's a hard one to swallow. Because this is military operations, and it is under Admiralty jurisdiction and maritime that's the foreign interference under the election stuff. Any kind of foreign interference, it comes under maritime law, but it's also international. It is maritime law is international law. Same thing with Admiralty jurisdiction, right? Reading in the Virginia Declaration of Declaration for the Causes of Necessity of Taking Up Arms, July 6, 1775, talks about extending Admiralty and Vice Admiralty jurisdiction beyond its ancient limits. Ancient limits in 1775. Okay, there's 3 testamary trusts starting clear back in late 1500s on Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction. And it's more of a Admiralty jurisdiction and maritime law. But we read Article 3, Section 2, and it talks about Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction. So, you know, it is happening. Vatican, London, DC being boarded up and taken down. Okay, that stuff's been happening. It's been going on. And the big pill to swallow here is it's a military op. There is no evidence other than open your eyes and pay attention. Okay? People getting arrested worldwide. People, man, I don't even want to say much more right here, right now, until we can get things going over on Rumble and definitely Telegram. But, in fact, let me do this. I'll make on Telegram live stream chat. So for those of you on Telegram, now you can click on that and I put live stream chat, make comments here, leave comment, you click on that. So if you're watching the live stream on Telegram or anywhere else and you want to comment on Telegram, you can go right there on the channel and click on that particular where to put the comments for the live. because that's what I'll watch. So right now I'm watching Facebook chat, YouTube chat, Telegram chat, and once we get Rumble going, I don't know how that works yet. I'll get there, cross that bridge when we get there. Anywho, the big pill to swallow is you're not going to know. I'm not even on the list of need to know. That's how the military works. These are covert operations. Nobody knows except for those that need to know what's going on. And I'll tell you my own personal experience in the Marine Corps. Hurry up, let's go. And one of our funnies is hurry up and wait. We were just told to get ready. Be here. Do this. We're not briefed on what we're going and what we're doing until about 2 seconds before it happens. This is what we're going to do. Now we go and do it. Nobody knows nothing until it's time to go, except for the ones that need to know. And it's very hush-hush. And if you're not in the military and you're not in that small circle of people of need to know, you're not going to know, because that's just the way it is in the military. So for those asking out there for any kind of proof of, any of this other stuff, you're not going to get it. You're not entitled to that. What you need to do is pay attention to the executive orders. Now, some of you might be aware of Monkey Works. Okay, he's put out stuff there for a little while now. And I don't know, how do you not comprehend planes going from one nation or one country to Gitmo? How do you not put that piece of the puzzle into the puzzle, the bigger picture here? Why would there be airplanes that carry, 200 to 300 passenger planes going from different places around the world to Gitmo? What do you think's going on? Is it a luxury cruise? Or, come on. Think about it for about 2 seconds. Okay? Why were many planes, which I told you before, Vatican had been raided many times. 6 or 7 times at the time I was telling you folks about it. And them planes were going back and forth from Vatican to over here. That'd be all that gold and all them special, I don't know, what's held at the Vatican, or what was held at the Vatican. You do realize birth certificates, that's where they go, them souls. Okay? That's where they've been storing our soul prints. Footprints, soul prints. Back under the law of the air, souls and trusts. Everything's been held in trust. And, I learned a little bit there during the election stuff. Live. Some of you may remember this when Eager Beavers over there was feeding me stuff, and we're like trying to figure out that 11.3. Foreign occupied territory. That's why the military was activated. Because once they completed the alleged crime, that became foreign occupied territory. Remember, what is D.C.? District of Columbia. Supposedly its own independent sovereign nation state. No. I can tell you right now, you do not. I just seen I have my original. No, you do not have your original. The Vatican had it. The original. We all get certificates. Copies. Some of the other things that are stored at the Vatican is the old trusts, right? The testimony trusts and many different ancient parchments. Let me see if I can. Here, I'm going to put my Telegram channel link into the YouTube and Facebook. So you can find me over there, KLC Media Group. What? Why can't I? There we go. Boy, Facebook's picky. So there's the Telegram channels, both on YouTube and Facebook, in the chat there. So, again, for those of you on Telegram, I created a post in KLC Media Group News, the Telegram channel there, for you to make comments. If you want to make comments on the Telegram, you can still listen. Oh. Excuse me. That's another one too. Took a spill on my dirt bike and fractured a rib, so it's healing up pretty good, but sneezes and hard coughs are still make it hurt a little bit. No, see, somebody just making this. I'm going to clarify this right now, and I just found this, right? There's no such thing as a state national. You can't change your status to a national. What makes you a national is you're a citizen. What is a citizen? Back to the Law of Nations, Book 1, Chapter 19, subsection 212. Citizens, those are members of the society who are bound. Oh, that's Article 6, Clause 3. That's what a citizen is, a civil service or city servant. Okay? Now, under this maritime law, special maritime jurisdiction, territory, right? Okay. This is where you find what a national is. National is a citizen. Trump is a national. Okay? You can't change your status to a national. And for those out there trying to tell you that you got to change your status, they're full of crap. I am man, creation of God. Prove me wrong. How do you change your status from what to what? And I'll say it again. Why does any man have to actively engage in any fraud to get out of fraud when fraud vitiates everything from its inception, void ab initio? Good luck. So if there's any fraud, anything that comes in conflict with that I am man, creation of God, is void for any effect, for fraud. Plain and simple. Okay? So, yeah, nobody has to change their status. You have to claim and declare it. If you have to go to court, episode 2, notice a special appearance, subjecting to the personal jurisdiction. And episode 2 of the educational series, for those who are not aware that I've done those quite a few years ago. And when you get through the 8 episodes there, you'll see part of the executive orders that I went over there. That's right. I laid a lot of this stuff out many years ago, folks. We're at World War. And just so we're very well aware here, the Reconstruction Acts of 1871 have been made void. The United States Inc. Corporation, Trump did an involuntary bankruptcy. It is bankrupt and insolvent. Heather Ann Tucci Giraffe, back in 2012, she terminated and foreclosed on them, on the corporation, back in 2012. So a lot of that is already done. We're kind of in limbo right now, and the military is in charge. We're under martial law. And technically speaking, we have been under martial law since 1863. Okay? Can somebody show me the Declaration of Peace? The peace treaty? No, there isn't one. Although, like I showed you before, Trump was going to all these other nations and countries and doing peace treaties. How do you do a peace treaty if you're not at war? Mm-hmm. Trust me. Believe me. That's the law and that's the way it is. We've been under martial law since 1863. And for those of you that remember, in 1845, Congress extended admiralty jurisdiction onto the land by congressional act. That's an usurpation of power, that's subversion of law, seditious conspiracy, and it is treason. Plain and simple, you can't get away from it. Those are facts of law. It's the way it is. Trump's called it out. Trump said it many times, treason, treason, treason. And actually, I need to fix this for the broadcasting, so not everybody gets to see the telegram. So I'll see what happens here. If I make this bigger. Come on. Why won't it let me do that? I see. I'll have to go like this. There we go. That'll work. So I just want to, for those of you that are new, trying to get 100 subscribers on the on my Rumble page channel, whatever you want to call it, Rumble channel there, Kirk's Law Corner on Rumble, so I can go live from Rumble, because we all know that YouTube and Facebook, they're not going to allow these to stay up if they even allow me to keep my channels going. They were coming down on me pretty hard to begin with. Facebook did suspend me for 30 days from doing lives, so that's part of the reason why I just, I'm done. For those of you not aware, which I was telling people before, was Patreon. Okay, Patreon, kirkslawcorner.com on Patreon. I have 4 different tiers there. Both tier 1 is $5 a month. It's just to say, hey, help and support. $10 basically gets you in where you can make comments and stuff in there. The tier 3, that's $50 a month, and that's gets you into Wednesday night workshop. Now, I've been doing Wednesday nights, continuing Wednesday night lives through Patreon privately, and I've been teaching people through there over the last year. So if you want to subscribe over there, that also helps support me, because that's what I do. That's what my license is providing education, news, and other services. I'm also an Idaho Notary Public, so I can provide those other services. And I've learned a few things about some powers of a notary public. But I'm seeing all sorts of comments, questions about Field McConnell. Again, you have to have some discernment for yourself. I typically don't engage in any of the drama and that kind of stuff. Look who she's connected to. It's that same little small group. I don't even know how big or small it is, but the few that we're aware of, she's connected with them. Oh yeah, we know. And there is a we. Trust me. Yeah, whatever. So it's up to you to figure it out, folks. Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Some people might take a little tiny piece of the truth and then they twist it into something totally different. It morphs into something that doesn't even resemble the truth anymore. But because that one little bit is true, people can be led to believe it. A lot of you, I think, have a little bit higher, brain power than most, the ones that continue to follow me, because this law stuff's you gotta have a thinker up there in order to grasp this stuff. Doing this law stuff is not for everybody, right? Not everybody's cut out to learn and comprehend this stuff. The basics, sure. But when we're talking in-depth stuff, like what Chris and I were talking about, loss prevention, advantages, profits, and gains, not everybody gets this stuff. And in fact, very little gets some of the higher end stuff. Like what Chris had said to me many times. And I'd asked him, I was like, well, who else you got? Who else? He's like, nobody. Nobody gets this except for me. He said that to me several times. Like, I get it because I'm a gearhead. I have a mechanical aptitude, an extremely high mechanical aptitude. So it's just, I get things easy, real easy. I don't have to have a whole lot of information to grasp certain things, the mechanics of things. Gift from God. It's the way it is. But for those of you out on Telegram, how's the audio over there? Because I can see the audio for the broadcast. And I had to play around with the audio a little bit. And it might even be a little low on Facebook and YouTube. I'm not sure. So, and yes, I miss Chris big time. And maybe someday I'll come out. Thank you, Michelle. And give you my thoughts and my ideas and my opinions. If and whenever after the trial. If there ever gonna be one. Okay. And yes, absolutely, Carrie. I know that I'm gifted. I had to learn that I was, right? I always thought everybody was created the same. We're all equal, right? We're all the same, all throughout them. Why don't they get this? Why don't they get this? And again, I went to counseling for this stuff in 2007, so this isn't my own just thoughts and opinions, right? These are facts, documented by the Marine Corps in 1990, and again by state of Idaho in 2007. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. And like he said, look, most people's brains do not function on the same level as mine does. Literally. So there's the problem. Why people aren't getting things, because I guess not everybody is the same, although that's what I thought for a long time. And it's a hard one to deal with. It ain't all it's cracked up to be, let me tell you. Being able to get certain things and go like, look at other people like, why don't you get this? Because they can't. They literally, and it's not to demean anybody or anything like that. I don't mean it in that way, and I don't think anything less of anybody else. Okay? I'm sharing my gift, right? Because that's what we're supposed to do. And back to Randall Stone, when I first met him before, that's how I got on Blog Talk Radio. He's like, man, you break this stuff down so Grandma can understand it. So that's what I'm using my gift for, is I can easily get things, and I do my best, in my Idaho redneckingese, to break things down so that the average man, common man, can get this stuff. And I've had many people over the years say thank you, telling me, hey, I find I've had people try to explain stuff to me and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. But after listening to you, I can get it. Well, there you go. I'm just a common redneck from Idaho, people, right? I'm a gearhead, mechanic, electrician, construction guy, computer geek. Yeah, I got all these skills, and it bleeds over into lots of things. But like I've said before, there's plenty of things that I'm ignorant of. Okay, I'm not trying to claim that I'm the smartest man here, right? And then there's a difference between being smart and intelligence. A lot of people don't even grasp that concept. Smart means you've learned how to do it, right? Intelligence is natural ability. And there's different types of intelligence, right? Mine just happens to be in the mechanical aptitude. So why I get certain things, and why Chris and I, when we explained, I loved it when Chris did the model of the V8 engine of how government is supposed to work, this due process of law. For those of you gearheads out there, you have to set the distributor in right. You got to have the timing chain right, or timing belt right, so that the camshaft is in time with the crankshaft. You got to have the distributor in time, or it ain't gonna run. You got to, fuel injected engines, man. You got to have fuel injection timing correct. You got to have the crank angle sensor right. You got to have your airflow meter or map sensor. There's all sorts of gadgets that all read simultaneously in milliseconds and adjust fuel injection, fuel curve to maintain stoichiometric, through the O2 sensor and other sensors to make that engine continuously run. And that's on the outside of the engine. The basics of the engine is timing. Crankshaft and camshaft have to be in time for your intake and exhaust valves. I get this stuff. As a very young kid, I was around this at 4 years old. When my mom and dad were racing 68 and 69 GTO circle track. Okay? Frickin' gearhead from 4 years old. I get things. Then there's a lot of things that I don't. Okay? So I want to make that clear. I don't try to put myself above anybody else, and I know some people are quite intimidated by my knowledge and skills and abilities, but likewise, I'm sometimes intimidated by other people's knowledge and skills. Sometimes even envious, right? It's like, oh man, I have all this over here, but I can't. And I don't have a problem admitting that I don't know something and I don't know how to do something, right? And see, that's kind of what sets me apart from a lot of people, is I don't have a problem admitting that I don't know something. But you got jackwagons out there like to sit there and say, Kirk, you don't know nothing because you didn't go to law school. Kick rocks, dude. Seriously. Go kick some big frickin' rocks. Because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And I've done a whole lot of reading. A whole lot. And again, my comprehension level is way up there. Documented as well. So when I read something, I can comprehend it quite well. And like I've said before, it's like trying to working on a 10,000 piece puzzle, and some days it feels like I have 8,000 of those pieces together, and then I find this one book or find this piece of information, one piece of the puzzle, and it's like, oh crap, well maybe this isn't 8,000 pieces and this is a lot bigger than it really is, and now maybe I'm down to 6,000 or 5,000 pieces out of a 10,000 piece puzzle just with one little piece of information. So it's just the way it is. The way I am, I don't try to talk about things that I don't know about. I'll admit that I don't. But when I do know, don't try to tell me I don't, because I can bring it. I can bring the law. I can bring the evidence to support the claim. Because most of the time, it's off the top of my head. I can cite it. Those that have followed me know this about me. Those that know me personally know this about me. Been around a long time, studying law and the history of law since 1995. This stuff ain't new to me, right? I do find new stuff all the time. Granted, that's a given. And no man shall know it all. I don't claim to know it all, and that way I can't be held to know it all. But I sure know an awful lot. Because I put in the time. Years of studying. And this 2 years of bar school, because that's all it is 2 years of bar school. They don't teach them law. They teach them code. Yeah, which I've recently discovered. See, there we go. Here's something new for you. It's the Roman civil law. The civil law is the Roman civil law, the code. Uh-oh. Yeah. Quite interesting how Idaho Code and Code of Civil Procedure from 1881. Let's see. Reconstruction Acts of 1871, the American Bar Association in 1878, and this Code of Civil Procedure of 1881. And then, what happened in 1881? Extending the High Court of Admiralty jurisdiction, Admiralty of England. Uh-oh. In 1881. That's that Code of Civil Procedure subverting our law. We're being subjected to Declaration of Independence. We're being subjected to pretended acts of legislation. It's the code. And I found part of this in Bouvet's Law Dictionary 1856. For those of you that have access to that one, go look up the term definition of law. And then when you get to law, go down a little bit and you'll see law, common, civil. It's the Roman civil law, the code. And it's, when you get down further in the other definitions, it says it's enforced through what? Pains and penalties, bills of pains and penalties. Why do you think our founders said that we were being subjected to pretended acts of legislation? And that, why is it in the Constitution that it talks about Article 1, Section 9 and Article 1, Section 10? No bills of attainder. Here, you've been attained to pay this bill. Bouvet's Law Dictionary, 1856. You look up bill of attainder. What does it say? Legislation, comma, punishment, period. Any legislation that prescribes punishment is a guarantee of an award. Like, I don't know, if you do this, that's, 6 months jail time and a $500 fine or a $1,000 fine. Those are bills of attainder and bills of pains and penalties. Those are foreign to our form of government and repugnant to our law. That's the Roman civil law, the code from the Roman Catholic Church, being enforced by what? The Crown Temple Bar. And these esquires that hold the title of nobility of esquire from the British Crown. Hello? Yeah, look that one up in Bouvet's Law Dictionary, 1856. Esquire, title of nobility from the English Crown. The next one is it's forbidden here in the United States of America. That's what it says in Bouvet's Law Dictionary. Imagine that. Yeah. Well, we're in for a big, huge change, folks. And it's coming. Make no mistake. That storm. Oh yeah. That storm's not for us, though. And remember 1776 Commission, the report of the Commission on Unalienable Rights. Trump talking about going back to 1776. That's before the Articles of Confederation. That's before the Constitution. That's before the Bill of Rights. 1776 is the Revolutionary War. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing. That's what's happening worldwide right now is 1776. Whether you realize this or not is irrelevant. It really is. This is a world war. It's been going on essentially since 2017. It's been happening. For those out there, well, I don't see anything. I don't know. Open your mind. You know, I'll reiterate this again, like Grandpa used to say. Don't believe any of what you hear and only half of what you see. Nowadays, with CGI and holographic images, I mean, they could even go so far as make it look like there's a plane that hit a building. Yeah. Trust me. Believe me. That technology is out there. Has been for many years. So, there's a lot of stuff going on. Why is it called fake news? Yeah, was calling it fake news back in 2014. Long before Trump come along and called it fake news. But that's what happens when you do research, right? And that's why I knew when Trump ran for office during his campaign trail, I knew he knew because I knew. And he was laying little hints and tips, words and phrases out there. You know, I knew that he knew. That's how I knew. Because I'd already been down many different rabbit holes. I already had this knowledge before. So that way I knew as soon as Trump was talking. Because I didn't like Trump before, right? Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand to watch any of his shows, stuff there, whatever. What was that? The Apprentice or something like that. And maybe because, I don't know, maybe it kind of reminds me of myself. I don't know. Probably. But after listening to his campaign trail, I was like, wait a minute, this guy knows. Oh, he knows about world child pedophilia stuff. Oh yeah, he knows about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he knows. And it's much bigger than just the children, right? And for a little tidbit funny here, some of you may remember this when Chris and I, oh yeah, Trump's been watching our shows, whatever. I, didn't really want to believe some Trump watching some Idaho podunk redneck, some live videos or whatever. But remember when we said, okay, so give us a hint that you're watching, and it was Kangaroo Court, and I can't remember what it was, something like that. So there was something else that we said, and it was about 3 weeks later. Trump come out and said, yeah, they're nothing but a bunch of kangaroo courts. Trump never said anything about kangaroo. I don't even know how many people even know about kangaroo courts. It's right in the dictionary. So, kangaroo courts are those types of courts that they do not recognize rights. So, there's your indicator that you're being subjected to a kangaroo court. They don't recognize your rights. But like we've said many times over the years, you got to perform your administrative duties. You can't just sit there and say they're violating your rights. You have to do your pleadings. You got to do your paperwork. If you're going to claim you're sui juris, of lawful age, of sound mind, and perfectly capable of handling your administrative duties, you better start doing your paperwork. Again, who's responsible for that knowledge? You are. We are. We're responsible for our own knowledge. Ain't nobody else responsible for your knowledge and abilities to do the proper paperwork. Or you're not sui juris. You might be of lawful age, but you're not of sound mind and you're not perfectly capable of handling your administrative duties if you can't do your own paperwork. Plain and simple. So, ain't nobody else's fault Why you're letting them get away with uh, trespassing the law and violating your rights, depriving you of a fundamental right or infringing your rights. It's your own fault. You can't blame anybody else. Yeah, I get that the society as a whole has, purposely been dumbed down, right? The education has been taken over, the medical's been taken over, the banking system's been taken over, everything's been taken over. It's Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Okay, there's the 8 principles or 8 points that are in that the main part of the Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. So the biggest one is taking over the education. So this is where I was at when I started all this. Is like, I get it. Hey, just to let y'all know, it might be new here, or just got on here recently. There is no such thing as an American state national. It doesn't exist. That's not true. It's a fraud. It's a scheme, scam, and a fraud by whoever's telling you that you have to do certain paperwork to change your status into that. And not only that, the citizens are the nationals. Okay? That's how you become a national. You don't change your status. Again, I'm going to reiterate. I am man, creation of God. That is our status. You can't change your status to something that, it's a... Man, blows my mind. But again, knowledge is power, right? You have to know this stuff. So be very careful about doing this fraudulent paperwork telling you that you have to change your status. They're full of crap. They're lying to you. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Come on, guys. That's right. Let's go back to the law of nations, international law, and what the definition of a citizen is. Book 1, Chapter 19, subsection 212. Citizens are those that are members of a society who are bound. So those are the 2 key words. Now go read Article 6, Clause 3 of the Constitution of the United States of America. Article 6, Clause 3 talks about all of the aforementioned members, right? And all those members of the legislative, executive, and judicial, both state and federal, shall be bound. There's your key words, member and bound. That's what makes them a citizen. Once they become a citizen, that's a national. For diplomatic immunity, for when they go overseas, or that kind of stuff. But it's a person, a person, because it always takes a man, right? Person is, this is where we get into that personal jurisdiction. Persons are fictions. So governor is a person. President is a person. Your lieutenant governor is a person. Oh, like manager of McDonald's, that's a person, manager. CEO of a corporation, that is a person. Okay? Again, I am man, creation of God. I am endowed by my Creator with certain unalienable rights. Can you prove me wrong? And how in the heck would I change my status from whatever y'all seem to think I need to change my status from back to being a man? You can't. No. What happens is I do the notice of special appearance and I put in there that I am man, creation of God. Now it's up to the other side to rebut that. Good luck. Good frickin' luck. Ain't nobody, not yet, not once have I had anybody file anything in rebuttal to say, no, you're not a man, you're not a creation of God. You're a person over here. No, not once. Yeah. Good luck. I don't know how you can become a state national other than being an elected official or appointed into a position of public trust. And I found it in the United States Code and under maritime law, where it talks about being a national. That's right. So, uh, you know, when we go through the historical documents, what do we find? We find man, free inhabitants, okay? And then we find what? People, and then citizens. Those are the only real statuses that I can find in any historical documents. Articles of Confederation talk about free inhabitants, the free citizens. Now, when you get into right under subsection 212 of the Law of Nations there, Book 1, Chapter 19, subsection 212, and then go into 213 where it talks about the inhabitants. So this is where our founders drew from, because this is international law. And when we read from the Law of Nations, and then we go and read some of the declarations of rights and some of the initial very beginning constitutions, and I'm talking about like the Virginia Constitution of June 29, 1776, and all the 1776 era constitutions, you'll see in there this verbiage that came directly from the Law of Nations. Imagine that our founders would have read that stuff, but they already knew that stuff back then, right? So those were the statuses within America here, is the free inhabitants. When you go to section 213, yes, the free inhabitants can be, I would say, a lowercase c citizen, if you want to claim that's the way we are. But I don't think our founders set it up that way. Factually, they set it up as the people having all the power, and the public servants are the citizens. That's right, because those are the civil servants. People are not the citizens. And then the free inhabitants, right? We're supposed to be free and equal. Liberty of conscience. Right to secure our own safety, whether that's medical safety or not. Whatever safety it is, we do that, not government. Wow. Gotta love people out there who think they know what they're talking about. I gotta be in all three jurisdictions. No, I do not. No, most certainly do not have to be in all three jurisdictions. There's the law of the land, law of the air, and the law of the water. I get that. Those are three separate jurisdictions. Okay, the law of the air has to do with souls and trusts, and so if you're going to say I have to be in that jurisdiction, why would I have to be? Why would I have to be there? I'm a free inhabitant. I'm a man, creation of God. I'm not bound by anything. And if we're going to talk about that, then we'll go back to Genesis 1, 26 through 28, that God gave mankind dominion over the land, the air, and the water. So I already have dominion over that, granted by God as a creation of God, because God is the sovereign. That's what a sovereign is a creator. Just like mother and father creates the son and daughter. The mother and the father are the sovereign over their son and daughter. And notice the words that I'm using. I'm not using parent and child. That's parens patriae. That's old Roman civil law where the state is the parent. I don't think so. We're at the common law. Common law of the land. Law of the land, common law. The law that's common to all mankind. What kind of man are you? Are you a man or are you a man with a womb? That's the woo man. That's it. That's the only two options you got. Because God is the one that created that. So, mankind, what kind of man are you? Can you procreate? So, anywho, again, this is just supposed to be a real short test, testing for tomorrow night, where I'm going to lay out some pretty good stuff and go through some executive orders, which I've well, Robert, you're trying to play around in their de facto kangaroo courts. It's government de facto. I am man, creation of God. And unless there's a contract of employment or holding of office that somebody has a standing to claim a right to a cause of action against me, there's a lack of personal jurisdiction. And a common law pleading called pleading in the form of demur, objecting to the personal jurisdiction. There's all sorts of grounds to assert, aside from personal jurisdiction, that can be grounds for dismissal. Right? There are lots of grounds. Defects in prior proceedings, insufficiency of service of process. Oh, they're violating my right to due process of law. Well, I'll be darned, you ought to assert that ground in a motion to dismiss. That's right. They automatically lose any kind of jurisdiction. Even if they had jurisdiction, they lose jurisdiction immediately when they deprive you of a fundamental right. Period. But you have to know. You have to know how to do that paperwork. You have to know how to make your pleadings. How to object to that stuff. And the judge doesn't have any say in it. None. Not a party to the case. You're to create your record. Y'all want to play that game with me of you're going to do what you want to do and catch you if I can? I'm here to tell you. And I'm here to teach you. And I've tried to teach you folks how to catch them. Okay? Motion to dismiss. It's a form of a pleading. In the form of a demur. You're objecting. But you've all been lied to and told, oh, you can only either plead guilty or not guilty. BS. Yeah, maybe in your de facto kangaroo government de facto garbage, which that's what I'm objecting to. There's no personal jurisdiction here at all. You're a fraud. Hey, Michael, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. I haven't talked to you for a while. No, these courts are all fraud. All of them. They're all government de facto kangaroo courts. I really wish people could grasp that concept that these are all fraudulent courts. And we'll start right here. The same old question I've asked before. Many, many, many times over the years. Can anybody tell me about a case that has not been legislated for? And then where's our common law courts? Article 7 of the Bill of Rights. Suits at common law and can't be heard in any court of the United States except for pursuant to the rules of the common law. Can somebody explain that to me? Because the Declaration of Independence talks about how legislating for us in all cases whatsoever. So can anybody out there name one case that they haven't legislated for us? And two, where's the common law courts? Where's the justices of the peace? And where are the common law courts that are not courts of the United States that are following the rules of the common law, not the rules made up by them? Because those would be rules of procedure for the courts of the United States. Where are the common law courts? Suits between man and man. Suits at common law. Not suits in law, Article 3, Section 2 under Admiralty and Maritime Jurisdiction. Because that's what it says in Article 3, Section 2. It doesn't say common law jurisdiction, Article 3, Section 2. And this is my passion coming through, because people need to frickin' read what it says as it is written and quit trying to add things that aren't there. There is no original jurisdiction of common law jurisdiction for the federal government, nor state government. That's right, common law courts belong to the people. This is at law. Government is suits in law, incorporated into the body politic. You know, an oath of office. Contract. Incorporating your corporation to conduct business in foreign commerce or interstate commerce. That's that business license. That's what binds you to those alleged statutes, which is all nothing but code. It's all barcode. Pay attention and learn, folks. Go watch the educational series. All of them, not just one. And they're done in a chronological order of things. So don't try and skip around, because you're going to miss something. And no, equity is not higher than the common law. That's the shit made up again. Common law is rights. Rights as the law. Suits between man and man. And go back and read Article 3, Section 2 again. Suits in law and in equity involving land. That's an equitable interest in the land. Now, I know, I've read places where, yes, where the common law fails, equity should be used. Yes, I get that. But again, this is the bar coming in and twisting that crap. Suits at common law have to do with rights as the law. A common law trespass. Suits between man and man. This is in the private. Public is public servants. In the public. Suits in law. Public law. Under the Constitution. If you're not a member of the legislative, executive, or judicial branch, either state or federal, you're not in law. You're not bound by the constitutions. Therefore, how in the hell could you be bound by anything created by the legislative branch or executive branch? Definitely not the judicial. But that's the thing. None of them have the power to create anything, other than the legislature has the power to, Hale versus Henkel, the laws of creation. What did the legislature create? The statute creating to regulate. That's right. These are regulations. It's not law. The legislature doesn't make law. Rights are the law. Remember that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, not persons. Among men, receiving their just powers under the consent of the governed. Not everybody is governed by constitution. I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, but if you're not a member of the legislative, executive, or judicial branch, either state or federal, you're not bound by the Constitution. You're a free inhabitant. You're free. You're in the private. Or, oh, yeah, you might become one of the people that, there, you want to change your status. Change your status from a free inhabitant, a man, into one of the people. We can get there. We can talk about that. Not today. But remember that to secure these rights, oh, that's right, because the rights are the law. And we laid them down through declarations. Declarations declare the law, lay down the law. Then the Constitution is created to secure those rights from infringement by government. Period. That's just a fact of law. That's how it is. Just, I don't know. That's how that works. But see, you got to have the people first, because the people create the Constitution. So, how does that work again? Wait a minute. The people would be the sovereign body. Oh, that's right. The people are the sovereign. The sovereign having the power to create the instrument of government. That's that piece of paper, we call Constitution. I might have a couple of those laying here somewhere. Anyways, Constitution, conscience, government. Oh, mind control. That's a mind control. You're absolutely right. The people create the emoluments of the office, and it controls the mind of the public servant, of the man who fills that seat. That's what government is. Control the mind control. So when the Constitution says governor, the Constitution, conscience of the governor is enumerated in the Constitution itself. So when any man gets elected to that particular position, they have to think the way the Constitution, the way the people wrote it. They don't get to think for themselves. They have to perform. They have to discharge the duties of that office. In order to make a charge, they have to discharge. And they have to do what the people say. They are not at liberty. They give up their rights in exchange for privileges and immunities to perform those functions, those advantages, those profits and gains are received after they take the oath. So it always takes a man to fill that position. There's no such thing as a governor. It's a fiction. It's made up. It's on a piece of paper. The only place that governor exists is on that piece of paper, the Constitution. Same thing with a business license, corporation, whatever. CEO, vice president, president. Those are all fictions. Those are all shit made up. Okay? Shmew. Remember that. Those are the persons, fictions. They're not among the living. It always takes a man to take an action. Somebody noticed the date's wrong, but it's also entitled Monday Night Law for tomorrow night. And for those of you tuning in late, this is just supposed to be a quick test, and it's turned into how long have I been streaming? Crap, I don't even know how long I've been streaming this. Does it say here? Well, I guess it started at 3:30, so about an hour and a half already. Pretty typical though for me, right? 2 years ain't, or 2 years, 2 hours of streaming is nothing. So, anyway, I am gonna go get off here. I got some stuff to go run around and do. Definitely somebody new that just came on. James Loveless here on YouTube. This is part of what I was coming out to tell people is I have created a Rumble account because Facebook and YouTube they're not going to allow me to do these lives. I've been pretty bland, not really showing anything like that. So, anywho, yes, I need 100 subscribers on there. Let me see where it's at because it was showing right 40 right now. And I'll do a refresh. Ooh, it's at 89. Holy smokes, all right. Good job, people. You guys rock. I didn't think I'd be able to get 100. Shooting an hour and a half, we're almost at 100. I'm going to post that again. Please subscribe so I can go live. I need 100 subscribers, and we're at 89 as of right now. You guys rock, man. That's awesome. Man. Holy crap. 90 viewers on YouTube, and what do we got? 41 viewers on Facebook. And I got a few. I don't know how. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's showing 12 here, I think. 12 on the KLC Media Group live. So, yeah, you all know that I'll be switching over to Rumble and Telegram. Now, I don't know if you guys caught that on the YouTube. I had taken a couple of the videos on the laws of nature, law of nations, and I uploaded those. Those were from Wednesday Night Workshop. There's been a couple of others that I put out on Telegram from Wednesday Night Workshop on my Patreon. So if you'd like to help actually support, because they took down my my PayPal and my Cash App, so I'm pretty much screwed for any kind of digital donations other than through Patreon. And I did see something the other day about this, buy me a cup of coffee or something. I've looked into Zello and some of these other ones, but Patreon, Kirk's Law Corner on there. You can do $5 a month to help support. That's the same thing as buying a cup of coffee. If you'd like to get in on the Wednesday night workshops on Patreons, that's a private. This is what I've been continuing with doing lives, but I've gone private. Wednesday night workshop is through Patreon. It is for tier 3 or tier 4. Now you can get in there, and that'll get you. Also, I have a private Telegram channel for the Patreons. So when I do remember to record, because sometimes we'll get in there and people start asking questions, and I'll just start sailing along, and people are, are you recording this? And I'm like, no. So I apologize sometimes, but I've put them out there. I try to record, especially when I'm doing curriculum type stuff. I'll record those and I put it on the Telegram channel, specific for Patreon, for the Patreons. So tier 1 is just $5 a month to help support. Tier 2 is $10. It basically is just more support, a higher level of support. Tier 3 is what gets you into the Wednesday night workshop. Tier 4, which is $100, will get you one-on-one 1 hour per month. Now that can be changed depending on how much time you need, but I haven't had a whole lot of extra time to do that, and those that have kind of understand that. But I've been sticking with the Wednesday night workshops, and I've been going for, I start at usually 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and it's 9:30, 10. I mean, but by the time we're done, they're wrapping it up. Some nights we have gone until midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning for a Wednesday night workshop. So it's been fairly rare. I mean, it's not a frequent reoccurrence, but for the most part, it's a good solid 4 hours on Wednesday night workshop. And we discuss all sorts of stuff in there. So got a very good group of people in there that are eager to learn and have been learning and have been taking actions, and of course sharing some of that stuff that we just can't share out here. So that's where I really went, along with the fact that YouTube and Facebook were trying to take me down. That's why I took down all the videos off of YouTube, was because they were going through older videos clear back to almost 2 years and giving me a strike on something from almost 2 years ago, trying to take the channel down. So that's why I took them all. They're still all up on Facebook. Well, Facebook doesn't have a problem, but they might now that I'm bringing it up. But yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Tier 3 is $50 a month. So 5, 10, 50, and 100. Again, 100 is 1 hour private one-on-one. Now, otherwise, I mean, the address is still the same at the offices. Office 6477 West Fairview Avenue, Boise, Idaho 83704. That's Suite C as in Charlie. But I know that, if things are pretty tight for everybody right now. The economy's crap, and, so I get it. But, right, Rob? Should just record every single one of them and then edit. I know, my mind just goes and goes and goes, and, Rob will ask a question, or Diesel ask a question, or Jacqueline, or somebody will ask a question, and there it goes. So, yeah, if you wanted to send any kind of donation over to the office, that's fine. Like I used to say before, any cash wrapped in aluminum foil, gold, silver coinage, money orders, anything like that, you can send over to the office. Again, it's 6477 West Fairview Avenue, Boise, Idaho 83704. By the way, Suite C, I keep forgetting that. Still hanging on over there, and we got a little bit of a team over there, and we've been working on the paperwork, and we're about ready to drop some big stuff. So, yep. Love my flag, huh? It's the peace flag. Thank you, brother Rob. I've found so much stuff in this last year. It's not even funny, folks. What? Good to see you, Mark. Mark Bonnet there on YouTube. Your Mac won't let you log on to Rumble, huh? Anybody else have that problem with their Macs, their Apple stuff? Anybody help Mark out with that, or is that's just the way it is? Yeah. I know some people might get a little sore with this, but because I'm my backdrop. But yeah, this is a real deal. Real flag. That's a real deal. Legitimate size flag. Yep. Candace Edwards out here on Facebook. Watch my educational series. It's in there. Answers to your question are in the educational series. Let's see. 89. Oh, we are officially at 101. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Freaking 100 people just come together in an hour and a half. I love you guys. You guys rock. So be prepared for tomorrow night. I'm thinking 7 p.m. Mountain time, 7 p.m. Mountain time. I know that's a little late out there on the East Coast, but things get settled down about 7 p.m. for me. So, and I do want to thank everybody who has prayed for me. I have seen quite a few of the comments on the YouTube stuff. I did respond a couple of times here and there, but life has been really busy for me. So, I do want to thank you all for the prayers. The real unsung heroes over there, you know, praying for everybody, not just myself, but I do want to thank you all for praying for prayers for me and for everybody else. So, again, thank you again for all your love and your kindness and your prayers. And man, I'm really ecstatic to see the numbers right here over a year. Or well, actually, it's not. It's right at a year is the last time I went live. So I'm pretty ecstatic to see the numbers of people that are watching right now. I mean, we're up to 50 viewers live on Facebook, and still holding at 89. I guess 89 right now on YouTube. And I really don't know because it only shows a certain amount on here. I'd have to go look. How do I see that? Where's the numbers? I don't know. I know when I'm watching somebody else's Telegram live, it'll tell, 92. Okay. Whew. No, that's the chat number. Never mind. Okay, so what I'll do is, so I know people are asking about a replay of this. I don't know why anybody would want to rewatch this. It was just I don't know, me ramblings of some old Idaho podunk redneck. But I'll put this up on the recorded portion on the Telegram channel. But it'll be on YouTube and Facebook, unless they decide to take it down. Maybe I said one little thing in there, two things. I don't know. Hopefully, I tried to stay away from any real controversial stuff right now. So, all right. So, we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I know we're supposed to be going back in time here. We get to go back an hour here in Idaho and a couple of other places. So I think that's next. Is that next week or is that this week? If it would have happened, it would have happened this morning. Anyways, so tomorrow night, Monday Night Law, will be 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so that's 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And again, I'm really blown away with everybody that's here right now. I greatly appreciate you all. And yeah, if you can't get on Rumble, get on Telegram, because I'll still try with the Facebook and the YouTube, but basically be prepared for it to be taken down. So we, like I was saying before, we have to have alternative stuff. And you folks just made it possible for me to be live on Rumble with having, we're at 101 right now when I was refreshed. Let's see the last. It's still at 101, so we're just on the cusp. And I don't know, let me see. Let me just see. Oh boy, there's all sorts of weird stuff I gotta do. Yeah, more stuff I gotta look into now. Great. So, anyway, much love, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow night. And I'll upload this over here on Telegram, and it'll still be on Facebook and YouTube. So that's about. Oh, for those looking for the Rumble, real quick, on YouTube, there I just posted the Rumble link to my channel, and Facebook will post it out there again. And I'll go ahead and let's see. I'll do the Telegram too, just to make sure. Okay, there we go. Link me. Okay, so there's the Rumble channel and the Telegram channel that I'll be live through. I will still try to do through YouTube and Facebook, which that's being broadcasted live right now, and I'm live on Telegram. So one of them might have to give up. I don't know. I'm going to try something, which is what I was trying to do today. Was broadcast live Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, and Rumble, but then I ran into the problem with I actually only had I think I had 8 subscribers. I'm like, well, that's far cry from 100, but y'all came through today. You guys rock. Love you guys, and we'll catch you for the real deal tomorrow night.